Hey everyone, I'm Trevor, and today we're back at SeaWorld San Diego to give you a full tour of the park. We're going to walk around everywhere and show you everything that there is to do here. So let's get going. Alright, so we are in the entrance area here. I just went through security down that way. Parking is right on the other side, and now we are going to head through the entrance gates. Today is Tuesday, January 6th, and they still got Christmas decorations up, but the event ended this past weekend. We're going to go find one of the lines here and go into the park. And as soon as I get on the other side of the ticketing turnstiles, there we have guest services over here off to our right, as well as some lockers down that way. Let's go down here and just check out the lockers for you. And it looks like lockers are going to be $15 for a standard and $20 for a jumbo. Here's a look at the standard size locker, and on the opposite side are the jumbos. And the first attraction that you're going to see are going to be these touch pools right here in the center of the entranceway. They've got a couple of different things in here, like some minnows and some bamboo sharks. You can come over here, you can stick your hand in the water. The minnows are particularly kind of fun. They're not really minnows, just like tiny little fish here. They will swarm your hand if you put your hand in there. I guess I might as well go ahead and do it. And look at that. It's very, very fun. They're like suckerfish. Very, very cool. Right on the other side of the touch pools is Sea Pixels. This is where you're going to pick up any in-park photos that you get while you are here. And right next door to that is the SeaWorld store. And I always like checking out this store for merchandise, but there are plenty of stores all throughout the park. Here's a new sign I haven't seen before. No strollers or wagons allowed inside gift shops. We're going to switch to the microphone now since that music was getting a little loud there. We have a hand washing station here, which I am going to avail myself of after sticking my hand in that water back there. There are even more touch pools on the other side of that hand washing station, and there's actually a bunch of different ways that you can go from here, but we're going to go clockwise around the park and show you everything, starting off to the left. So to our right here is a pretzel shop, and it looks like they've got some snack type items here. I think you can also get like ices and beverages and cotton candy and things like that over that way. They've also got some rapid refill stations if you get one of their refillable mugs. Here is the back end of the SeaWorld store over here off to the left. It looks like we have OP Otter out doing a meet and greet. Gotta love character meet and greets. And the Dryer's Ice Cream Parlor right here, along with some benches and tables and things like that on the left and right hand side. We will cover all of the food in a different guide, and so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on things like that in this video. We're literally just going to walk around the park and point things out, like this Dippin' Dots cart that you have over off to the right, as well as churros. It says margaritas and cold beer. Now the first area we're going to come across is the Orca area, and this is actually also an entrance area for Orca Encounter, the show that they're going to have a little bit later on in the day. But they have a underwater viewing area here for the orcas over this way, and so if you come down here, you'll be able to see the upper area, upper viewing area, and then down below. We're not going to actually go down there just for the sake of this video to keep it kind of short and not too long. You can go down there and you can take a look at the orcas, and I do see orcas out in the pool today. The last time that I was here, there were no orcas in the pool right at 10 a.m. when they opened. I got here, so it is about 11:15 in the morning right now, and they are out. If you were going to go to Orca Encounter the show, the entrance is over there off to the left. That's one of two entrances, and Orca Encounter is actually, the stage is back behind this area. And today you can see the show times for Orca Encounter are 12 and 4. Of course, those are going to be subject to change depending on the day that you come. We turn around, you see the Sky Tower going up there. That's one of the rides that you can do here. If you are not an annual pass holder, that is a paid attraction. You do have to pay extra for that, but annual pass holders can ride for free. And then if you did not want to go down into the lower Orca viewing area, they do have another upper Orca viewing area here for you over off to our left. And I can see one right over here at the moment. He's not swimming around. They got nice big glass panels now. I feel like they've updated that recently. There was one just coming out of the water over there. I don't remember these glass panels being this big the last time that I was here, but so yeah, you can see orcas over the top and the bottom. I see some construction walls ahead. I'm not really sure what they are for. I used to come to SeaWorld all the time, like several times a month for several years, and then I went about a year and a half without a SeaWorld pass, and I only just got one a couple, like month and a half ago. So this is just my second visit since getting my pass again. We have a dolphin area over here. This is Dolphin Point, and you can see some dolphins in this area. You also notice that there's an upper viewing area platform up there. I find it harder to see them up that way, at least with the glare of the glass. I like this viewpoint right down here. And if we continue walking around, oh, actually we can see the construction that they're doing here. They don't have construction walls up blocking this view. Actually, this is different from even the last time that I was here. They did not have this closed just like 3 or 4 weeks ago. But we do have another side of Dolphin Point, and this is where they do all the shows and presentations when they play with the dolphins, or they have the up-close encounters where you can get into the pool with them. Of course, that is a paid experience as well, getting up close with them. But that's going to take place mostly over that way on that side, but you can see it over here as well. You'll also notice that if the dolphins come swimming by right here, you can see them. They have a similar lower viewing platform on the other side. However, you'll notice that there are ropes here blocking it. They take the ropes away during certain events, but otherwise, you know, guests are really not allowed to get up close unless they pay for the up-close events. Now, I could go over that way to get to Manta, but we're going to backtrack slightly, get around this construction wall. So with these construction walls being up, you don't have access to the underwater cantina at the moment, which is one of their bar locations here in the park. That's going to be right there. It was available the last time I was here, however. To our right is the whale shop, and another one of the gift shops they have here. This one's going to be Orca themed, so if you're looking for Orca themed merchandise, definitely come check out the whale shop. We are in the Orca area. Over off to the left, we have another like concession stand, especially this one is right outside Orca Encounter. Here's the other side of Orca Encounter. We told you there were 2 sides to it, 2 entrances. This is going to be the other entrance on the other side, and they also have a time board right there as well. We're going to head up this pathway now, and you'll see a smoked turkey legs station off to the right. Guess it's a little, I mean, maybe this is only open on the weekends. I'm just looking, it's definitely past lunchtime. In fact, Shipwreck Reef Cafe over here is open, and I haven't had lunch, so we are gonna just pop in here for lunch. They do have mobile ordering here now. That was something they were starting to roll out before I let my pass expire a year and a half, 2 years ago, and now it is available at all the restaurants, I believe. We'll double check that as we're walking along, but here's a quick look at their menu. And since we're on a tour, we'll just take you on a tour of the inside here. Wow, this looks so much different. So much different than the last time I was here. Wow, completely renovated the way that this looks. And here is a quick look at the food that I got for you. This is their barbecue ribs. And so you can see that it's got some fries there. Looks pretty good. A bit pricey though, $25.99. I did choose the seating area that's down here where I can watch the sea turtles as I eat. So this is a really nice spot. I do like the ambiance here of Shipwreck Reef Cafe in terms of their seating area. If you are enjoying this video and finding it helpful, please hit the like and subscribe button. It really does help out the channel. And if you want to save some money on your next trip to Southern California, call my friends at Getaway Today and tell them that SoCal Disney Dad sent you, or click the link down in the description to be forwarded to their website. I circled back to the entrance now just so that we can pick up the tour right where we left off. The ribs were good, a bit tough, but the fries were nice and warm, and overall I enjoyed the meal. Over off to our left we have Shipwreck Rapids, one of the rides here at the park. Not going on because it's the off season and this is a water attraction, and you get pretty wet over here. You'll notice they completely drained it, so a little bit later on in the year we may redo this video once some other things open. You'll see a lot of construction as we start walking around, but that way you can see like that sort of attraction up and running as well. Off to our left is Island Traders. Earlier when we passed by here doing the tour, Island Traders was not open, but I made a second pass a little bit later on in the day getting some B-roll footage for an upcoming Ultimate Guide video, and it had opened. So I thought we'd show you some footage of the inside here real quick. This being a water ride, they do have some dryers here that you can pay $6 in order to speed up the drying process. This little pathway right here is the dining area that we were just at for Shipwreck Rapids, or Shipwreck Reef Cafe rather, I should say. And this would be like an overlook, so Usually as you're walking over here, you would see the rafts going by and the rapids down there below. Over off to our left, this area has kind of been in various states of disarray for years and years and years. It says, "Pardon our splash, new and exciting improvements are coming." There is an aquarium building over there, at least there was in the past that they've had, but then it closed, and it might be what this Bayside aquarium, like they moved it, not really sure. But then they had another ride over here called Tidal Twister, and that got that had so many breakdowns and so many issues that they got rid of it. And so they just haven't had anything there for quite some time. And they do have these little cannons here that you can pay. It says one swipe, and they're taped up probably because the ride isn't open, but you can usually swipe here to pay a little amount. I don't know what the amount would be because the thing's typed up, but it'll fire cannons of water over at the people who are on the ride. This is the Bayside Amphitheater. They have shows and concerts in here during the summertime. Nothing going on this year as far as I'm aware, or this time of year. And then down here in the back is the Bayside Aquarium. And this is just the last time I was here was the first time I ever even noticed this aquarium of all of the times that I've been coming to SeaWorld. So that's why I'm assuming maybe this is where they moved all of those animals that were in the aquarium on the other side of this construction wall before. But you can go in, you can go out. It's a small little aquarium, nothing like super big, but you can go in there and you can check out some fish. Now we're going to backtrack and continue on this direction. This is the far back of the park, by the way. We can't go any further, like to the left, over, on the other side of this amphitheater. There's nothing over there. This is the back of the park. And there is another viewing area for those turtles that we saw earlier as you were walking by here. There's the one side that is in the Shipwreck Reef Cafe, and then there's another viewing area right here where you can see some sea turtles. I believe there are some in there, yep. You can see that dark blob right there. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time looking at the animals in this video either. This is just meant to be a walking tour so that you can see what the park looks like and what is here. It's not meant to be, something where you can virtually enjoy a day at SeaWorld. I want to help you plan your own trip to SeaWorld. And this will just give you, like I said, that general idea on what to expect, on what's here. For instance, a lot of open space back here in the back. We do have the Surf's Up arcade off to our right, little arcade. They have a bigger one further on in the park, but here's a smaller one here in the very back area. You'll see some Christmas displays. As I mentioned, the Christmas event is over, but they have not taken their decorations down yet. This area is a popular area for the various different events that they have throughout the year. Christmas, Halloween, whatever else might be going. They usually have like a dance party back here for kids, or meet and greets with mermaids, things like that will go on. We are on the backside of Manta at the moment. We'll loop back around and catch its front in just a second. But we're going to continue on this way for right now. The waterfront is up next, and they'll also use this as kind of like event space, if you will. So as we go back here, you won't see anything going on today. You won't see anything super important. None of the food places are going to be open, but this is a nice little lawn even when the events are not going on, that you can come back here, let your kids unwind a little bit, because there's some space for them just to kind of run around, and you can have a seat and enjoy the look of the bay here. If the Bayside Sky Ride were going on, that is what these poles are. It's a like sky bucket ride that just goes down and it turns around over there and comes right back. So it doesn't really take you anywhere to the other side of the park or anything like that. Remember, we're at the back of the park, but just a nice little viewing area. And then here's a look at that Bayside Amphitheater that we talked about when the shows are going on, or the concerts that they might have there. They're over here in this area. Quick jump to the future here. It is a little after 1 o'clock now, and the Bayside Sky Ride is operating. So it's still running today during a weekday, during the off season. It just wasn't running at park opening. And we've backed out of there now. It looked like it was more like an ambassador break area right now. Here's the entrance to the Bayside Sky Ride, $6 for the Bayside Sky Ride, similar to the Sky Tower. This one requires an additional fee if you are not an annual pass holder, but if you are a pass holder, it is free. Here comes Manta. You can see it going right there. It's going to loop around. That's one of the family coasters here at the park. And if I'm remembering right, we actually do have to go up this way to go to Manta at the moment. I think they have construction walls up that block you from accessing it from the other side. So the only current pathway with the construction walls up is actually through this pathway right here. And so we'll duck up there real quick. There's a couple of things up here, not just the ride. So we got to point all of those out as we go around the corner here. Down here is the bat ray viewing area, and we'll be able to see that from up here on the bridge. So we'll point it out as we just round the corner here. A gift shop off to the left specifically for Manta and Manta themed merchandise. But then here is the bat ray viewing area, and they also have a bat ray feeding booth down there where you can buy food and then feed the bat rays, which is a fun experience. Pretty affordable, maybe like 10 bucks. But still another sort of add-on here at SeaWorld. And then the Manta entrance is going to be right here. They do have lockers because you're going to have to store your things before you go on this attraction. The entrance to Manta is over here off to our right. Now they do have aquarium viewing down below as well. And so you can just go down there just to see the aquarium. Here we are. So down by the bat rays, there is there's a chain up. Can't go look at it. Well, there's usually an aquarium viewing down there, folks. Here goes Manta again. Oh, look at this. The construction walls are down. So just from the last time that I was here, about maybe 3-4 weeks ago, the construction walls down here are down. So we're right back up to Dolphin Point now. We have Manta Pizza over here off to our left. One of the food locations here. There's a lot of food in this park. There is a lot of food and a lot of gift shop kiosks, as you can see over here. We missed this earlier because we didn't come to the other side of Dolphin Point, so we might as well duck in here now. There's also tons of little paths all the way through here. They have some penguin viewing. They used to have, I think they used to have otters here, but they have moved them. It's now penguin viewing in this little area. So this is off to the left of the Dolphin Point viewing area, and I can hear they are doing a talk right now. So one of the ambassadors is right there with a microphone telling people about the dolphins. Straight ahead here is Hibisco, tacos and more. And so this is going to be a Mexican food location here at SeaWorld San Diego. Hibisco was the first one to sort of debut the mobile order pickup, and then as I said, it seems like more of the larger restaurants here are getting the mobile order pickup. To the right is that Sky Tower station. Probably should be similar to the Bayside Sky Ride. Should be about $6, I should say. Should be about $6 to go on the Bayside Sky Ride. I almost said 10 because there's this sign over here that says upgrade for only $10. Probably would be if you bought a single day ticket and you wanted to upgrade to a fun card. And a fun card will grant you access all year long, but it does not have the pass member benefits. Doesn't have free parking, doesn't have discounts on food. The fun card is literally just access to the park, but it's still a decent deal, still a really good deal. If you are gonna be back at least twice throughout the year, definitely consider the fun card. Then we have Feed a Sea Lion, Sea Lion Point over off to the left, and then there's another amphitheater behind that. We are doing a bunch of little, we're trying to go clockwise, as I said, but there's a lot of little pathways to see everything. We are weaving a little bit. If you are watching this on your television screen, it would be best to pull up the SeaWorld map on your phone and follow along so that you can get an idea as to where we are. Here we are at Sea Lion Point, where you can see some sea lions. And then they have Feed a Sea Lion. It says we'll return at 12:20 p.m. So at 12:20, maybe in about 40 minutes or so, this place will open back up for feeding sea lions. They also have harbor seals in here as well. This is a fun area, especially feeding the sea lions is really fun. I like doing that, and I think it's worth it. I mean, again, it costs some money, probably about $10 or so, but it is definitely worth it in my opinion. Here is the Sea Lion Amphitheater for the Sea Lion show. So Orca Encounter was the first show, big show. Sea Lions is the next big show. This one takes place today. Flippers, Facts, and Fun takes place at 11 and 3. Again, today being Tuesday, January 6th. It's a weekday in the off season. You'll notice there's not a lot of people around. Weekdays are the ways to go if you want to avoid the crowds. Definitely weekdays are better than weekends, Saturdays being probably the worst day for crowd levels. We're coming back here now, sort of back towards Manta again, because there is another area over here that I need to point out to you. Sea Lions, the Sea Lions show during the Christmas season brought back Clyde and Seymour's Christmas special, which I was so excited to have back. I got to see that show the last time I was here, and it's as close to the old show as they have. The old show being Sea Lions Live, which they had for many, 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 many years, and then had to get rid of it because of animal activist, animal rights types things. I thought it was fine, but other people must have disagreed. This area right here is typically a flamingo viewing area. The last time I was here, it was covered in soap as they were cleaning it. Now it is drained. I talked to my buddy David from Big Red Journeys, who comes to SeaWorld a little bit more often than I do, and he said that they were here when he was last here, just a couple of weeks prior at the end of November. So they are just, I guess, cleaning this area, but eventually this will be back up and running, and the flamingos will be here, a very large area for the flamingos. Here's another entrance to Flippers, Facts, and Fun. Looks like they've got a sign, though, pointing you that way, so they must not be opening it today, this entrance down here. And now we're coming to the back again. We're at the very back of the park, and there's another amphitheater up here that we have to point out for you. There's a, well, this one's not an amphitheater, it's just a regular theater, but they do have a lot of different show locations. So even though there are 3 main animal show locations, orcas, sea lions, and dolphins, we'll get to the dolphins in a minute, they still have a lot of other entertainment throughout the day. Now, the Mission Bay Theater says there are no performances here today, and so it's not open. However, during the Christmas season or during different seasonal times, they'll have seasonal shows back here, especially to see Happy Harbor Holidays. That was going on during the Christmas season, but since the Christmas celebration is over, there are none running today. They do still run this show during the week, however, when the season is going on, because I came on a Tuesday last time. So even though there's a lot less going on here during the weekdays, you'll find as we get through here that some food places may not be open, some stores may not be open, and some rides may not be running on weekdays. But you will find that during the special seasonal times, they'll still run some of those shows, but then they won't during the off season. Even on weekends, probably, if there's no show that goes in there, nothing will be running, of course. We have another gift shop over off to our left, as well as the Garden of Discovery. And you can come in here and they've got some different garden themed displays, like a tool shed over there. You know, there's not really a whole lot in there, but it is something to consider. You'll see some more construction walls over this way, and that's because Shark Encounter is down one of the 4 walkthrough areas. So 3 major animal shows and 4 major animal experiences. And we have not been through any of the major animal experiences just yet. We are at the back end of one of them, which is the sea turtle area. We'll go through that in just a second. Actually, look, it's allowing us to go in this way. So we'll go in this way. We can point out the final amphitheater in a moment. Here's one of those rides that I mentioned is not open during the weekdays, Riptide Rescue, just because there's not a whole lot of people here. They do operate at lower capacity with staffing. And then Reef Gifts. I'll show you the entrance to Turtle Reef. I think we might be able to go out the other side. And you'll be able to see, again, one of these 4 major walkthrough experiences. Shark Encounter being down currently, closed, as they are completely redoing it. I mean, completely redoing it, but we're gonna walk through a turtle reef here. You can see some big fish there. Not turtles, of course, but you can see some big fish. There's a nice little viewing area over there where we might as well just walk down here. There's nobody here. Where you've got water up above you too. And there's one of those turtles going by. There's another turtle down there. But that's what this is. This is just a bunch of big panels for some turtle viewing. There's another one right there. Of course, there's other things in there too. I just saw a ray. Not sure what type of ray, but saw a ray in there. There's another turtle. Spend some time in there. You can spend a lot more time than I just did. We're, again, trying to be time efficient for you so we don't waste your time, but still allow you to see everything here at SeaWorld. So this is the main entrance then to Turtle Reef. And they've got construction walls up over off to the right. Right over there, that green wall you're seeing, we're not going to walk back, we're not going to backtrack, but to the right is the entrance to Dolphin Adventures. I think that's what it's called now. It used to be Dolphin Days. I think it's Dolphin Adventures now. And Dolphin Adventures is the 3rd amphitheater, the 3rd big show building. Here's the entrance sign for Turtle Reef. And Dolphin Adventures is also down for refurbishment as of right now. So they are not running any performances for Dolphin Adventures. And it's been down for a little while now, quite a few months now. And I don't know when they are planning on reopening that. You can see the construction wall over here for Dolphin Adventures. It says Dolphin Amphitheater is temporarily closed for renovations. Pardon our splash. So we're going to turn to our left. Calypso Smokehouse is on the other side of these trees. We'll walk through there in just a second. We've got a restroom over here off to the left, and they're gone. There used to be, like macaws right here, there used to be some animal cages. They're gone. I don't know, they were probably gone the last time I came to. It doesn't look like it was a recent change, but they used to have some animals there. So here is Calypso Bay Smokehouse, and this is another one of the major quick service locations here at SeaWorld, and not one of their, like, you know, window type places where you just grab and go. That one will give you a tray and food, and they'll call your number and that sort of thing. It's a little bit bigger of a deal than somewhere like Manta Pizza. Back here's a little kiosk that is used for food festivals, and then this glass building is an event center. So they use that for events, and you pretty much have to be invited to an event to end up back in there. So like I've had a few media previews and media events that have utilized that building, but it's not something that most guests will be able to access. We are pretty quickly coming towards the midpoint, I think, of this video. We've crossed over to the other side of the park. We might even be a little over halfway at this point. They will do different light displays in these trees sometimes at night. At least at Christmas time, I know they do. Off to our right is the Nautilus Amphitheater. This is not the main entrance to the Nautilus Amphitheater. It is the back entrance. They only have 2 entrances, but this isn't the one that I would typically utilize when going to the shows here. Very similar to the Mission Bay Theater. You're going to find no performances in the off season, but this place is heavily utilized for seasonal events. And the last one they had was Stocking Full of Soul back there, which was a fun musical performance that they did for Christmas. And then they have like Monster Stomp or something like that for the Halloween time and Hallow Scream. Welcome to Rudolph's Christmas Town, it says. This isn't normally Rudolph's Christmas Town, just set up for the Christmas season. I feel like I keep repeating myself, but they have not taken their Christmas decorations down. I thought when the event ended on January 4th and I was coming on January 6th, surely they would have had the majority of their decorations down by now. but they do not. Here we have penguin encounter. There's some penguin viewing over there. We're gonna actually walk into penguin encounter, just quickly go through it. I don't know if we're gonna go through Wild Arctic. We might just show you some clips. Wild Arctic is big. That is so this is the third animal walkthrough area, penguin encounter. We did Turtle Reef earlier, and then we couldn't do shark encounter, so we have penguin encounter here, and then Wild Arctic over there is the fourth of the major animal walkthrough experiences, but that one is the biggest, and I feel like if I walked through that, it would take 15 minutes of this video just to walk through it. So we're not going to completely do Wild Arctic, but I think I'll still pop in there and show you some clips. Wow, the conveyor belt is broken for penguin encounter here. I usually like the conveyor belt. There is this upper area even when the conveyor belt is running, but you can come up here if you don't want to get on the conveyor belt. The glass panels in here are usually always fogged up like that, so it does make it kind of hard to see them. But if you were down on the conveyor, you'd be able to see, you know, how you can see the penguins under the water there as well. A little bit better perhaps than the upper area because of the fogging there on the glass. Then down here at the far end is another aquarium. This one for puffins. So if you love these little guys, tufted puffins and Atlantic puffins, you can come back here and check them out in this area. This area is also home to the penguin gift shops, penguin related merchandise items. Back that way. And then as we come out of penguin encounter, to the right is the Seasons gift shop, and this is, at the moment, got tons of Rudolph merchandise. And they might have Rudolph in there all year round, which is maybe why they call it Seasons. That way they can get away selling the Christmas merchandise, even in the middle of summer. There's another outdoor viewing area for some penguins. I think we briefly pointed this out. I have seen them doing some feeding in here. Like the last time that I was here, they did some penguin feeding. The penguins are in there, they're just all down in the water at the moment. I just saw one go under. It looks like it's empty. There's some more seasonal booths over off to our right that are open during the different festivals that they have throughout the year. I think the next big festival is their Seven Seas Festival, which usually takes place over spring break, March and April. Seven Seas. So straight ahead we have Arctic Rescue and Wild Arctic. So Arctic Rescue is one of their coasters here, but it was down the last time that I was here. I'm curious to see if it is open or not now. Let's go ahead on in here. If it's been a while since you've been to SeaWorld, but you have been here maybe 10 years ago, you'll remember they had a simulator attraction that was over here off to our right. That has closed and has not been here for quite some time. Nope, looks like Arctic Rescue. This would be the entrance to Arctic Rescue. This area is temporarily closed, and there's lockers here too, because you would have to leave your stuff before getting on that ride. And the downside of this is, check this out, okay? The downside is rent a single-use locker for this location only, $3 per use. And then they have rent a multi-use locker that you can move to other rides. That is $12, and it says for an hour. An hour. And then what do we got? Move my multi-use locker. Okay, so you can move it that way and then open an expired locker. But $3 for a one-time use, or according to this, $12 for an hour. That is not a lot of time for a multi-use locker. That's the downside of some of these bigger rides at SeaWorld. So it's nice to have somebody who is with you who doesn't necessarily like big rides, so that they can sit out with all of their belongings, or all of your belongings. The first viewing area we're going to come across in Wild Arctic here is a beluga viewing area. Now there's several different viewing areas through here, but all of them have underwater viewing areas. So we're just going to bypass all of the upper stuff for a moment, and we're just going to show you the underwater. There is a lot in here, though. I said that we would point out some different things. This is a wall of ice. Yes, you can run your hand on it. You can see some people have done some scratchings here on it, but you can put your hand on this, and I mean, it's just straight up ice. And then they have some walrus viewing over here. You can see the back end of this big guy right there. this whole little area straight over here off to our left is for walrus viewing. And sometimes you can see them swimming around in the underwater portion right here. And then the other thing that I wanted to point out is this cool spot right here. This is my favorite part of Wild Arctic, and that is the shipwreck. Walking through here, super cool. I just love the look of it. Wow, that water is really cloudy, but this is the otter area off to our right. And I cannot see them because how cloudy that water is. And then here's the underwater area for the belugas. And they will very frequently come straight up to the glass. You can see one of them over there. He is not coming up to the glass, but maybe he will. He's swimming upside down. Nope. They used to have an elevator in here at the end because you went down a little bit, but that elevator has been broken, according to my buddy David, for the better part of a year or more. And it sounds like it's a very technical, expensive fix. And so they just haven't done anything with it, which means that if you need, like you can't take stairs, you will have to completely backtrack through the entire Wild Arctic. When you exit Wild Arctic, you're going to end up in this Wild Arctic themed gift shop. And so they're going to have standard SeaWorld rescue stuff here, but they'll also have some Wild Arctic themed merchandise as well. When we exit the gift shop, you'll see the entrance to Wild Arctic right over there. So we have not really ended up too much further along. So we could just continue off to our left. We have reached the far side of the other park. So where Shipwreck Rapids was when we first entered, Wild Arctic is on the other side. From here on out, we're turning back to the right and going back towards the front of the park. But before we do that, we do have a couple of detours, or offshoots, I should say, off to the left we need to go check out. There's a restroom over here that has got a fence up. It says temporarily closed. I did not see that the last time I was here. This is electric eel. We'll cover electric eel when we get to its entrance. This is the back end of it. You cannot access that attraction from back here. Instead, we have a journey to Atlantis back here, which is not running today. So similar to Shipwreck Rapids, this being a water ride, it is closed. And there goes electric eel. It starts off going backwards, and I'll just show you here, I guess. It's going right now. And then it hangs upside down there for a few seconds. But when I was here, like I said, a couple of weeks ago, even though Shipwreck Rapids was closed then, Atlantis was still open. So now they have closed this one as well. You can't even get over to the aquariums. They've got a genie forklift thing over there. But there's an aquarium right here for some rays and different fish. And there's a gift shop back there too. You can't get to either one of those right now. Here's some dryers similar to Shipwreck Rapids. And then Emperor is back here. And Emperor does appear to still be running today. Emperor was named after the fact that we used to be the only place in North America that had emperor penguins. And those emperor penguins got stolen from us and taken to Orlando. Orlando's SeaWorld is like the golden child of the 3 SeaWorld parks because it is in more of a touristy area than even San Diego. Of course, Orlando, you've got Universal and Walt Disney World, and they've got their Legoland down there too, and a whole bunch of other stuff. It's like the travel capital of the United States, I feel like. And so the SeaWorld Orlando gets all the good stuff. And they took our emperor penguins. But this is a dive coaster. You might have saw it hung on the edge there before it dropped. It leaves you hanging. This is a dive coaster. 5 minutes standby wait. All the rides are 5 minutes today. There's nobody here. Absolutely nobody here on a Tuesday in early January. More lockers. Again, more lockers over off to the right because you do have to put all of your items in the locker. Here's an Emperor themed little gift area, and they do have Emperor merchandise. I got a water bottle that said Emperor down the side when it first opened. I imagine they still have that type of merchandise. All right, here we are now back at Electric Eel, and we're going to start walking this direction. To our right is the Nautilus amphitheater again, so we're just walking a big circle around the Nautilus basically, and we're going to come up to the other entrance to the Nautilus here in a moment. In fact, there's a shorter pathway that you can take to connect the two entrances from the Nautilus. We went around the whole back way, but of course there is a better pathway, which we'll point out. We're not going to walk it because, again, there's a lot of little pathways through here. A lot of little wiggles, a lot of little turns. I do see a sign up here on the restroom, like, I don't know what you call it, raised rock bed here that says Lunar New Year. They got a Lunar New Year event going on. It says select days January 31st through February 16th, so not super long. We do have another restroom over here off to our left, and we'll walk that way in a second, but I'm going to come over here to point a few things out this way first off. And so here's the entrance, the main, this is what I consider to be the main entrance to the Nautilus, because this is off of a main pathway that goes by Electric Eel, Emperor, Journey to Atlantis, and then we've got another little like hot dog, churro, pizza, ice cream, chips area here. Here's the larger of the two arcades, and we won't walk through the whole thing, but this is the larger arcade. If you are looking at arcade, I believe you can earn tickets in here and you can go get prizes, typical arcade stuff. This is the pathway that I was mentioning will take you down to the other side of the Nautilus if you go over there off to the right. They do have some carnival type arcade games, not arcade, but you know, if you saw the basketball throw or climb the wobbly ladder, I think climb the wobbly ladders over here off to the left. But we do have a Build-A-Bear workshop here. Now this is also the back end of Calypso Bay Smokehouse, and so we're right back there too. And there is the Dolphin Adventures Amphitheater that again is closed at the moment. Obviously this isn't running right now, but here is the wobbly ladder game, which is pretty much impossible to win, by the way, just the way that balance and your center of gravity works. We're going to cross through the arcade here real quick to get to the other side. Get an idea of some of the stuff that's in here as we pass through. Now the Rescue Junior area, where the kids play area is over here in the very center of the park off to our right. We'll go back through that in just a little bit. I don't want to cover that just this second. We need to loop back around here and show you the entrance to Electric Eel and some of the other things that are over here. So there's that restroom that we were just at again. We just literally did a loop around this section. But here's the entrance to Electric Eel. 5-minute standby wait currently posted here at Electric Eel. Another area for lockers. Here's some ride photos for you. And they have this little arcade game in here too. Kids like to play the arcade game. The Turtle Reef has an arcade game like that too, but it was not running today or the last time that I was here. That one occasionally goes down for, you know, it being broken. We have a moray eel viewing area, and I can see him, actually California moray eel. I can see him right here, so just figured we'd walk up and show him to you. There he is. Eel viewing area, we got some face paint. Here we have one of those carnival type games that is open, prize every time, like a fish pond type one. Crab and octopus viewing area right through here. This whole building is crab and octopus viewing, so you can go check that out if you'd like. And then Tentacle Twirl, a couple of rides over here. Tentacle Twirl is their swinging swings. Swinging swings! Yeah, I don't know what you call it. It's twirling swings, spinning swings. But Jewels of the Sea. Jewels of the Sea is one of their newest aquariums back here. And this is for jellyfish. We're not going to go through the whole thing. It's quite extensive as well, bigger than I thought it was going to be when they first announced it. But this area back here is one of their newest areas. So Jewels of the Sea, make sure you come check it out, especially if you do love jellyfish. Explorers Cafe over here, another restaurant location. We will pop in this one because they have a restroom in here, and I'm gonna need to make a pit stop, but I'll allow you to see the inside here, because there's also another reason for going in here anyway. Oh, this opened up, might as well pop in here. And that other reason is that they do have a gift shop in here, but they are in the process of getting rid of all of the Christmas merchandise, so it is a bit of a disarray, but it usually is pretty open here. It says 50% off. Ooh, it would have been 50% off had I come here before they closed it, trying to sell off all their Christmas stuff. Here's Explorer's Cafe. This is going to have mostly cheeseburgers, double cheeseburgers, Beyond Burgers chicken tender platter, and an orange chicken bowl. And that's what it looks like in here. As we have popped back out of there, we go by the High Tide Brews, a bar location here. And you can see this little Instagram wall, I guess, here for High Tide Brews. They did have a bar in the Explorer Reef Cafe as well, though. I didn't point it out. It was in the center area there. You might have seen it. This attraction temporarily closed, Tentacle Twirl. This, I don't know if it's like down for refurb or if it's just closed during the weekdays. But there's a lot of stuff closed today. Not a lot of rides going. All the big ones except for Arctic Rescue are going. By big ones, I mean Electric Eel, Emperor, and Manta. But also missing Journey to Atlantis and Shipwreck Rapids. So those two are closed. Those are big ones I would consider. We have one of the little kid rides here, like a little drop ride. And then Octo Rock over here is one that just uses hydraulics to rock you back and forth. Another little kid ride. They used to have a third one back there over off to the right called Aqua Scout, but now it's just a bunch of picnic tables. We're walking through the tunnel of lights. If it were dark, this would all be lit up. Considering the park closes at 5 p.m. today, hello. Considering the park closes at 5 p.m. today, it will not even get dark before you have to leave. It gets dark at about 5:20, and so you'd probably be able to see the lights, but not very well. Not to the cool factor that that I like anyway. To our left is more fences and blocked access. So back this area, this is actually behind Explorer Reef. Back behind there is more event space. Whenever they have seasonal events going on, Christmas, Halloween, that sort of thing, they've got a stage back there, they've got some food back there. I can't even get back there. They had the reindeer meet and greets over here earlier. You can still kind of see the remnants of that. They had some reindeer meet and greets for Christmas over here, but everything's locked off now. Now we're back at the very, very front of the park. This is the entrance area, so stroller rentals, ECV rentals, wheelchairs. Right over here, you can see the entrance/exit. And then they've got a Starbucks right here, Coral Market. We did not point this out earlier. And the guest services that we started at is right back that way. But we have not done the very center of the park just yet. And so we need to go this way. There's a mimosa bar over here off to the right. And we're gonna go towards the Sky Tower and then to the right of it. And I told you I wanted to show you the Rescue Junior area, the little kids area. Popcorn, Dippin' Dots. Looks like this is open. Character artists over here. And some more carnival type attractions. Here's another stage area. This is often, again, utilized during seasonal times. Access to Dolphin Point is right over there. The upper viewing area of Dolphin Point, and that penguin viewing that we saw is right over that way too. So just to kind of help you get some more understanding of where things are. The entrance to the Sky Tower is also on the other side there, but we're not going to go that way. We're headed to the right to go towards Rescue Junior. Here's another gift shop for you. The Chicken Shack, Chicken Snack Shack. I don't think this one is open. I can't tell. No, it looks like it might be. Mobile order only. Entrance through that way. So more food there for you. Lots of seating out here for it. And then SeaWorld Rescue Junior. Here we go. If you were to take this pathway, it would take you behind a Dolphin Adventures. And usually there'd be dolphin viewing back that way, but with the amphitheater being closed, they're not having any dolphin viewing back that way either. So it's really more or less just a walking path between this side and the other side of the park. But let's go in here to Rescue Junior. We do have a splash zone, even though it's January, and I'm wearing a jacket. They do have some, this is very popular in the summer because they've got some water jets through this area for the kids to be able to get wet. Tide Pool Twist over off to our right. Not running today by the looks of it. Another ride not going. This wasn't going last time either when I came on a weekday. Probably would be going on the weekend, I would assume. Rescue Riders is a Dumbo style ride. This one is, I think, running today. There's just nobody on it currently by the looks of it. Maybe just about ready to go. And then Rescue Rafter over here, not running today either. But I would expect this to be running on the weekend. So lots of rides closed during the weekday. Fewer crowds if all you want to do is take a look at the animals, but not as much entertainment and not as much rides open on the weekdays. Here we go. The kids sort of play area. There's another splash zone. There's some net climbs here. You get up into the net climbs and they have different tunnels that the kids can go through and wobbly bridges, and there's even a big net in the middle that they can go through. Down here on the lower end, we've got this tube that they can crawl through. A little kid area just for playing with some blocks over here. Very bouncy, squishy flooring so that they don't get hurt. And then over off to the left is, bouncing on air, a little like it's not quite a trampoline, but kind of a trampoline surface. They used to have big pillars in here that you could push and move between, but I guess kids were getting hurt, so they took those out. And then we have just this little climbing area. Here's the exit from the net climb, so you would, go across those bridges and then you would come down here. And after that, we are back at the arcade. There's the arcade right here in the center. And so that actually about does it. We've been just about everywhere at SeaWorld San Diego. And that's going to be it for our time here today at SeaWorld San Diego, giving you a complete tour around the entire park. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. If you got questions, drop them in the comments below. I'm always happy to answer them. Thanks for watching. Click this video to check out more of my SeaWorld San Diego content, and we will see you again next time.